guys right here. Not only do we got a lot of weeds, but we got a grub problem. What's up, everybody? I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Welcome back to yet another video. So nice to have you guys here. Hope all of you are having a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at. If you're watching this in the morning, you guys know the drill. Make sure you got a nice cup of black to go with it. Folks, this is a video I have been wanting to make now for the past week or two that I've been out doing my thing out in the lawn. You see, one of the things I've been seeing out in the lawn and also in a lot of questions coming up recently is, Jake, it seems like I have a grub problem. What do you recommend I do about it? That and more is what we're going to be discussing in today's video. Let's get into it. So one of the big telltale signs that you guys have grub worms is going to be when you walk around your lawn and you notice a couple of brown spots. Now, it goes even further than just that, right? What you're going to want to do is what I like to call the tug test. So what you're going to want to do is grab that grass by the roots. Hey, I know that sounded kind of funny, right? You're going to want to grab the grass by the roots and just whoop, give it a little yank. And if it comes up easily with like no effort at all, and you do happen to see a bunch of grub worms under there, about maybe 7 or even 10 in that one area, depending on how much you ripped up, that's an indication that you have a grub problem and you need to do something about it. These guys right here. Not only do we got a lot of weeds, but we got a grub problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the grub worm life cycle. So it all starts for us in the spring. Now, when it comes to grubs, it actually starts way before that, about the year prior actually. But for most of us, when we do lawn care, we're always starting in the spring, right? So I kind of want to go ahead and cater to that trend because that's how I got started in lawn care. We're starting in the spring and working my way to the end of the season, right? Because we all want to start in the season and get the lawn looking good by the end of it. Anyway, I digress from that. So the way it works is you have grubs, aka beetle larvae from last year that are still in your soil from last winter. They've come back up to the surface and they are continuing, that's a key word to talk about in a second, continuing to munch on your roots of your turf until they emerge in June as Japanese beetles, which brings me to the next stage, and that is the emergence, right? In June, these worms become beetles, and the grubs do emerge as beetles. They're not only coming out of the soil themselves, but they're also laying eggs for new grub larvae. They eventually hatch, and they spend the rest of the season munching on your turf. It's kind of a loop, if you will. Only difference now is we're dealing with a different generation. So they're going to continue munching on your turf, munching on your roots, and of course they're going to choose your lawn because it's thick, it's green, it's beautiful, and the parents want their kids to grow big and strong off of all that, right? So they're going to be munching off of your lawn for sure. So they're going to keep munching and munching and munching. And while they're doing that, they're going to keep growing and growing and growing until wintertime comes around November, December. They're going to go ahead and bury down deep and hibernate for the rest of the winter until next spring comes around. They continue to feed on your lawn until they emerge in June again as beetles, and the cycle repeats itself all over. So from a bird's eye view, the way it works is there are 2 different times a year where you have to worry about grub damage. That is going to be the spring and the fall, and it's always going to be from 2 different generations, right? You have the previous generation from last season munching on your lawn before they emerge, and once they emerge, they lay the eggs, and the second generation continues to munch on your lawn for the remainder of the season until it gets cold and they dip down below. As you can see, it's an ongoing cycle. That's the life cycle of the grub worm or the Japanese beetle. When it comes to treating a pest in my lawn, I like to practice what is known as IPM, Integrated Pest Management, which basically means that when you treat a pest in your lawn, you're doing it in the most environmentally friendly way possible, using less product if you have control of that. So to dive a little bit deeper into that, when I see a problem in my lawn like grub worms, like even if I dig and see them munching on my lawn, I like to go by sight as to how the grass is looking. So if the grass is looking green, vigorous, and thick, doesn't have any problems, despite the fact that I might have a few straggler grubs down there feeding on it, then there's really no need to treat it because the lawn is in a state where it's pretty much going to be able to fight off any of the damage that they're doing. If you're seeing this in your lawn and it's thick and vigorous because, again, you've been working hard and taking care of it, like we've talked about before on the channel, then you don't have to worry about this. This first treatment is going to be for my friends, though, who are just getting into the game, haven't done anything to their lawn for maybe years, or again, like I said, maybe you're just moving in and nothing was done by the previous owner, and you're seeing grub damage and you're literally getting down there and digging and seeing a lot of brown spots that you can easily pull up, revealing a ton of grub worms. This is what you're gonna wanna do. You're gonna wanna get down what is called a curative, which is basically a 24-hour on-contact kill product. So when you go to the store and you get this type of product, all you need to look for when it comes to grub worms is something that says kills within 24 hours, kills with on contact. That's going to be like Dialox or 7. I'll leave links down below to good products that you could check out for that. Those types of products are called a curative. They're curing the problem after it has manifested itself. Go by what the label says. Label is law, and you will be okay. Now, if you're not seeing any grub damage right now, then you can go ahead and skip that application, which brings me to the second application that is going to take place for warm and cool season folks around late May, early June. At this point, we're getting ready to exit spring and head into the summer, and it's also getting hotter and drier out, and we want to go ahead and get this application right before all of that happens, right? Right while the lawn is still strong and able to defend itself, we want to go ahead and get this application done, and that is going to be a preventative treatment, which is basically treating the problem before it manifests itself further on throughout the rest of the year. So with regards to grub products, what you're going to want to look for in this particular realm, that hey, this isn't a curative or kill on contact product, but this is more so a residual preventative type product that will eradicate the problem before it manifests itself even worse throughout the rest of the year. Which brings me to application number 3, and that is going to be another curative treatment around mid to late September. Around this time, for all my cool season friends, we're all coming out of summer dormancy or summer stress if we had a dry summer. This is a great time for grubs to actually continue munching on your lawn like we talked about a little bit ago, and also cause damage without you even knowing it, right? Because obviously the entire lawn is brown, it's dormant, right? Not dead, dormant. The lawn is brown and dormant, and once it greens back up after being in dormancy for maybe 2 to 3 months, and that is a great time to get down a curative application to fix those problems. So that in a nutshell, guys, is how I'd recommend controlling grub worms in 2021, as it has been an unseasonably warm year. Literally about a week, 2 weeks ago, actually, we had temperatures up in the 80s for a couple of days. And then to follow that, last week, we had a couple snow events. And then after that, back up into the 80s. We have aggressive dandelion blooms coming up already, which will be an upcoming video in the future. So stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. If you have any additional questions on how to get your lawn deep, dark, green, and thick, leave those down below. I'd love to start a conversation with you guys. I'll be sure to get back to those as soon as I can. With that, I'm Jake the Lawn Kid. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Later.